hospitality. Not only from hospitality, from the field of hospitality, people from Karnataka in this state have flourished in many fields in terms of education, in terms of medicine, and many other fields that have got great pride to the state of Karnataka. I take this opportunity to thank the office bearers of the prestigious Karnataka Sangha, T. Nagar, for having given this opportunity to be on stage and be among one of these illustrious people from various states of the country. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. We now humbly request Thiru Gaurav Raina, representing Jammu and Kashmir, to address the gathering. Aroma, then next is the beauty scenery that we are going to see from Kashmir, experiencing the lovely climate, the scenic beauty. We have Thiru Gaurav Raina. He's from IIT.
Good evening, one and all, and I'll try and keep it as short and sweet as possible. So I joined IIT Madras 15 years ago after finishing my PhD and postdoctoral work at the University of Cambridge in mathematics. Now, over the last 15 years, I have made the state, the city of Chennai, and the institution to which I belong, IIT Madras, very much my home. But interestingly, whenever I cross the borders, there's one intriguing question which everybody seems to ask me, or a lot of people seem to ask me. And that is, how does it feel like living down south when you come from up north? And that's on the assumption that there is only one south and there's only one north. And for the longest time, I was very perplexed on how I should answer that question. And then eventually, I found the following way to express myself. So here's a place where you can wake up in the morning and have filter coffee, then work on fintech solutions, after lunch work on biosciences and biotech, and end the evening with Bharatnatyam. And that, I think, establishes what I think as succinctly as I possibly can put it, the sort of very quiet balance between a deep-rooted cultural ethos and a forward-looking scientific view of the world. And as we are here today, I think a question which sits very much at the forefront of all of us is artificial intelligence. And the narrative somehow seems to be around what will AI do to us and what can we do with AI. But I'd like to take this opportunity to actually flip the narrative completely, which is, what can AI learn from the wisdom of Tamil Nadu? So as AI is able to learn from its language, its culture, its cuisine, its customs, its ethos, its values, not only will AI be richer, but we can actually now in the state use this wonderful technology to accelerate the economic development within the state through high quality access to education, healthcare, financial services, insurance, legal systems, and so on and so forth. And not only that, but actually use that to export the culture, the wisdom, the cultural ethos of Tamil Nadu across its borders. So the next time somebody asks me the same question, my answer would be, please look at this new app. And as a consequence of dealing with the app, the state will get some revenue as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the much awaited moment, we now humbly request the Honorable Governor to address the gathering. We had dignitaries addressing in silos, now put together, we have the Honorable Governor address the gathering.
அனைவருக்கும் மாலை வணக்கம். Distinguished dignitaries on the dais, Dr. S. Vaidya Subramaniam, Dr. C.M.K. Reddy, Thiru K. Rajesh Rao, Thiru Anwar, Thiru Manjeet Singh Nayyar, Thiru Kirlosh Kumar, distinguished officers of Indian Army, distinguished members of the civil society coming from various professions, gracious ladies and gentlemen, we are celebrating the statehood day of 16 entities, 9 states and 7 union territories, which happen to be created on this day at various points of time. The states Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Punjab, Haryana, Uttarakhand, Union territories Delhi, Chandigarh, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Andaman, Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Puducherry. At different points of time, these all were created. Now, at the very outset, I would like to express my deep sense of gratitude to all the distinguished persons from various walks of our life, from education, from medicine, from business, from art and culture, various walks, who have been serving the society, enriching our life, material, intellectual and spiritual life. Military officers who have been defending the country not only from external aggression but also in times of needs like natural disaster, which happens so often nowadays, as the first responder to provide rescue and relief. Felicitating all these eminent persons is indeed a matter of pride for me and for the Raj Bhavan. I thank you all for the services that you are doing. I also had the occasion to felicitate the group of artists who have performed and who will be performing, students of Vivekanand Vidyalaya. You might have seen, many of you must have seen in the corridor, they have put exhibitions, pictorial representation of all these 16 entities, so beautifully. In fact, during daytime, I spent nearly about an hour, and I thought an hour was much less. These students, small, in middle school students, primary school students, high school students, the way they described in detail the features of all these 16 states and union territories, their geography, their climate, their important destinations which people they like to visit, their culture, their cuisines. It was simply astounding. I like to thank Vivekanand Vidyalaya and Seva Bharati, which organized it so beautifully. Friends, this celebration of a statehood day, which we have begun for the last couple of years after Prime Minister Narendra Modi decided that we must celebrate the festivals that reflect Ek Bharat, Shreshth Bharat, Ore Bharatam, Unnat Bharatam. You know, when we say states, we tend to believe that states have been there forever. No. States are much recent creations. These are innovations for better governance, better administration. In fact, there was no concept of a state until the British came. They created provinces for their administrative convenience because they wanted to have administration of this. Such a mighty Bharat. It was not possible to do it from one particular location, so they created provinces. They created large number of princely estates. Some of us believe that these princely estates are there forever. They were not. Many of them were created by the British for their convenience because larger administration means larger expenditure. And they were business people, essentially. The East India Company, they came for trade making profit. So if you can reduce your profit and outsource the administration to someone, why not? They did that. So this is all created. We got independent, and after independence, when we became independent, at the time, the entire Bharat was not one Bharat. First of all, British had partitioned this country. They had taken away two parts. Millions of people were displaced, millions were killed, lost, massive, devastating tragedy. And then above that, we had more than 560 independent countries within India, which the British had made them independent. So they were all independent countries. We call them princely estates because princely estates, when the British were there, when the paramountcy left, they made them all independent. And here was a great man of vision, extraordinary vision, superhuman guts, and extraterrestrial innovation through which he united. It wasn't an easy job. Each state, each princely estate's merger with India was a Herculean task. And imagine, he did it in less than 2 years, all of them. And so, 31st of October, his birthday, is celebrated in our country as Ekta Divas, Unity Day. And we did that yesterday. We did here in this very hall also. The whole of the country celebrated. We also joined the celebration. Today, we are celebrating the creation of various estates, but essentially it is celebration of Bharat. How beautiful, how diverse our country is. Look at the cuisines, the culture, the languages, costumes, terrains. At any point of time, you have extreme hot, extreme cold. Somewhere it is raining, somewhere it is dry. All the climates that you can conceive of, you have at any point of time in some part or other of this country. This great country, which we celebrate by calling it unity in diversity, it's a country that it needs deeper understanding. In fact, the people, everyone, at the subconscious level, at the instinct level, we all know the connect, how the connect the whole country is. I had the privilege to serve in various parts of this country. When I was in Jammu and Kashmir, there is in Srinagar you have Sankara Hills, Shankaracharya's temple. Sankara temple built by Adi Sankaracharya. You could see, look, a person coming from southernmost tip of our country, going to Kashmir and establishing the institution. I also learned there that when he passed away, his first successor, the first successor of Adi Sankaracharya, Sureswaracharya, was from Kashmir. He brought them from Kashmir. Where is the distance? Today we say it is north and south. Uttarakhand, Badrinath. Again, Adi Sankaracharya went from southernmost tip and created an institution for the whole Bharat. And northeast, wherever you go, in Brahmaputra Valley in Assam, you hear Srimad Sankardev. Sankardev, 600 years ago, he came to this land. He studied, went back, and he composed, the first composition was Dhanya Dhanya Bharat Bhumi. Round about that very time, Guru Nanak Dev Ji from Punjab, he travelled all the way. Many of us, we may not be aware that he travelled every part, every inch of this country. He came up to Rameswaram. He stayed there for almost 6 months, moved around. They were not just moving aimlessly, they were all weaving that unity that underlies this great country. And this unity of this great country has been celebrated all through, every time, every season, through festivals. In festivals, the whole country has been celebrated. There are festivals, we may call it by different names, but at the same time, on the same day, it is celebrated all over the country. You see, the icons around which we do the celebrations are all shared all across. But unfortunately, after independence, things, while we continued making advancement, development, incremental, but we also started creating distance among ourselves. Linguistic movement happened and it created concept of linguistic minority. Now C.N.K. Reddy was very proudly said that this great patriot Ramalu did this linguistic reorganization, great. But today he regrets that he considers himself a migrant in Tamil Nadu. I asked them, how long you have come back? They say, our ancestors came 400 years ago. I said, then how come you are migrant? I mean, this new and new. When did language divide? When my grandmother, 120 years back, she travelled from Patna, village in Patna, she came to Rameswaram. She didn't realize that she was travelling through various languages and all, because the people, there were institutions who were there to facilitate the travel. People never felt the difference of language as difference between them. This is started happening. Our various parts of our country. Punjab, which took the front lead in independence of our nation for saving this right from not only British, but they were the soldiers or defenders of the culture of Bharat. Something went wrong, and some people started saying that no, we like to be away. Our Northeast, they took the leading part in national freedom movement. And then after independence, they started saying, no, we will move away. Violence started. Maoists started violence in this whole, almost the entire heartland. And perhaps today, some of us might not be conscious, and we need not be conscious of the fact that until 10 to 11 years ago, in our country we used to lose about 5 to 6,000 people every year in violence. In North, organized violence. I'm not talking about, the domestic violence or violence happens for murder and all. Northeast, separatist violence, Maoist in the entire heartland, Jammu and Kashmir. 5 to 6,000 people used to be killed every year, including a large number of people in our soldiers, our security force personnel. Where was the mood for celebration? Every time, in fact, our enemies, they started talking about balkanization of India. India cannot be kept together because it is so, they continued looking the way the British looked at diversity as a difference. Bharat was not built by looking at diversity as a difference. The soul, the vital force of Bharat has been unity. Unity between the individual, between the collective, between the creation. Vyakti, Samashti and Srishti all are part of the same manifestation of the same divine. There was no concept of other. But we started looking our people in different by different parameters, and we started. The tensions began. Now, fortunately, providentially, that the country about 10 years, 11 years back got a leadership which understands Bharat, who understands the heartbeat of Bharat. And I say with confidence that after Mahatma Gandhi, if there is anyone who understands this country so well, it is Narendra Modi. Look at the transformation. 10 years ago, who took note of us? We are at the margin. Everything. We were just a populous country. We are a country where more than 30% of our population were living in absolute poverty. Means they couldn't get 2 meals a day. No roof over their head. You fall sick, you perish. This was the state. In terms of knowledge, science and technology, where were we? WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization. If you look at the data, intellectual property, the patents created in India were just a few hundred. Every field. We were way behind. The countries which were way behind us, they left us far behind. Now transformation has begun. Now we find peace. Entire Northeast is peaceful. Jammu and Kashmir is peaceful. Maoists are, almost the entire area is now almost free of them. Occasionally 1-2 incidents you might hear. Now, as far as poverty is concerned, international organizations, they say that 25 crore people have been pulled out of poverty in the last 10 years. 25 crore. The level of absolute poverty from over 30% has come down to below 6%. It's not it's the international organizations who say that. These miracles have happened because there is a leadership who has the right orientation. I don't say that earlier people didn't have the right intention. But right intention must be coupled with right orientation. We must have a clarity about who we are. As a country, as a Bharat, it is a kutumbam, a family. And if you look at this country as a family, a celebration of any part, our extended family, any celebration is a celebration of the entire family, is not of just one. If in my family, if my one brother has achieved something and there is a celebration, I cannot be away from that. I am part of that. So when the concept of a statehood day celebration, Prime Minister Modi gave, he thought that, look, a statehood day is the best opportunity to celebrate the Bharat through the culture of that particular people of that state. By the way, a state doesn't have a culture. A state is a political entity. Culture belongs to the people, the society. So the people of that particular state, who live in that state, their culture is celebrated, they are ours. Look at the beauty, look at the diversity of our country. Today, we are fortunate that we are celebrating 16 states and union territories culture. This is Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat. This spirit has to go down. When we celebrate this, we celebrate the people, those who might not be much in public light, but silently they are doing excellent work. I know here people who are sitting here, unsung, doing such an excellent work, excellent service to the society, unmindful of recognition. They don't bother whether somebody recognizes them or not. But then, it is our responsibility to say, occasionally say to some of them, a thank you. This felicitation is today of these people is nothing but it's just a small thank you to them for what you are doing. It makes us happy. It encourages and inspires others because there is a positive force in every human being. Nobody is a perfect saint, nobody is a perfect sinner. We are all a mix of it. But the one that we celebrate gets boosted up. So we must celebrate the positive achievement, the positive forces, those who are silently doing it because they have that goodness in them to care for others. We will continue doing that. And this celebration must go beyond Raj Bhavan. We must celebrate it at various institutions, various places. And I'm sure our journey of our nation towards a fully developed, today we can dream. We can dream that yes, when we say that 2047 will be a fully developed country, today it doesn't seem unachievable. I don't think we could have even thought about it 10 years back. Because at the time of independence, India was the 6th largest economy in the world. By 2014, we had dropped to 11th. Today, we have come to the 4th and shortly going to be the 3rd largest. So when we say that by 2047 will we become? Yes, we will become and will become with the efforts of every Bharatiya, every citizen. There are number of people. In this state, you know how silent revolutions are happening. I had occasion to look at the data. Mudra loan. How many people in Tamil Nadu have taken Mudra loan? Mudra loan, as you know, that is a collateral-free loan you get from the bank for doing a small business. You need not be a skilled person, but if you wish to do something, you can do that. About 2 crores people of Tamil Nadu have taken Mudra loan, and nearly half of them are women. And when I go to the rural areas, I meet them. I meet the village women. Not necessarily very literate and all. What do you do with this? When I ask them, somebody says, I have bought 4 or 5 cows, I'm selling milk. Someone says, we have come together, we have got sewing machines, we have stitched clothes and give it to the local market, supply it. Someone says, we have set up a tea shop, coffee shop. Look at this. Earlier it was unthinkable, but these women who were otherwise taking care of their house, they are now, from whatever income came from outside, now they are generating the wealth. And when we say that our country has come from 11th to the 4th largest, it is all through these micro revolutions which are happening in this country. At a scale and a speed beyond the grasp unless you go deep and deeper. This revolution will continue and we will continue celebrating it more and more, many more years, rather all the years, until we achieve our target, and will continue doing it even beyond that. I wish every one of you the very best. I wish every one of you very good health and a prayer that you achieve in life what you have been trying to achieve. Greater than that. That will be a true tribute to Bharat Mata, because when each individual grows, the nation grows. This is how it doesn't go otherwise. Thank you very much. Bharat Mata.
Thank you, sir. We now have some cultural extravaganza, which brings the greatness of each state, will now be presented here by various talent from various schools and from various institutes. And we are happy to tell you that, like, we have cultural artists who have come all the way from Jammu and Kashmir to perform before you.